Namaste people, I am Anmol Sarkar. So if you have seen my introduction video, you guys must have an idea about who I am and what I am trying to do and what this channel is all about. And if you have not seen that video, please go and watch that video. For Facebook, I'll share the link in the comment section, and for YouTube in the description below. And please don't forget to like and subscribe my channel so I can come up with more such videos for you guys. So without wasting any further time, let's get straight down to today's topic as usual. So if you guys have seen my last video, you guys must have known that how I tried to tell that these Christian missionaries were trying to fabricate a fifth Veda to give concrete shape to the political strategy, which was tried to propagate by Caldwell and G.U. Pope. So they tried to continue it further, and all these things happened. So in today's video, we shall see how they tried to Christianize popular Hindu culture and Hindu art and dance and folk literature and all that. So let's start. First is they tried to Christianize popular Hindu culture. So what are they trying to establish is, as I have said, in Hamitic mythology, they tried to establish that the Hinduism was a degraded form of Christianity and all. So this is how they were trying to give it a factual and an evidential basis to this theory. Okay, now see what they did. Navratri, if you see a famous festival of Navratri, which is popular in the northwestern part or the northern part, it is most probably celebrated in all over the northern part also and the southern part also, and somewhere I will tell you how. Navratri is a festival worshipping the divine mother goddess of Durga, okay, for 9 consecutive nights, and you know this thing. On the 10th day marks an important day for South Indian Hindu tradition known as Vijayadashami. In this Vijayadashami, which is also known as Dashera, where you know how the statue of Ravana is burned and lights are lamped and all that kind of things. So in this Dashera day, this is an auspicious day for Hindus in South India. Okay. Now during this day or on this day, the South Indians have a famous tradition where they will enroll their child into literacy, means into education. This day was so auspicious that they will introduce their child into schools or enroll into very academic institutions or other literacy programs. Now what these Christians did, that Christians also started enrolling their children into literacy on the same day of Vijayadashami, and now see how they are going to twist this. Christians have also started initiating their children into literacy on this day. Now before going further, let me tell you one thing, that we are now shifting from the history to the modern politics, and the gradual shift will come how these historical events were tried to Christianize and how it took form in modern politics and all. So we are going shifting into that time scale slowly and gradually. I just want you to notice this shift. Till now I was talking about how Bishop and Caldwell in 15th and 16th century, how this Robert de Nobili was trying to popularize this Christian culture or give a political basis to this. Now we'll come to how modern Christian missionaries are using this kind of strategies to propagate Christianity. So Christians also started initiating their children into literacy on this day. Now in 2008, a parallel function was organized to initiate Hindu rituals within the Christian context. So let me tell you what happened. While Hindu children wrote Hare Shri Ganpataya Nama, okay, Hare Shri Ganpataya Nama on this day, and they were enrolled into literacy, Christians on the other hand wrote words in the praise of Jesus Christ. Okay, there was a good turnout for this ceremony. Children wrote words like Yehud Daivam, means Jesus is the only God, or Jesus God, in a plate of rice grains. Now see how they are using this Hindu traditions or local Hindu traditions and giving it a Christian context. The success of clergy of St. Basilius Church at Kottayam, a prominent Kerala town, to go even further, in 2009, they claimed that Vijayadashami festival had a Christian historical background. Now see, they are starting to give Christian context, and when generations after generations pass, or 4-5 generations pass, they will simply claim that this Hindu traditions were derived from the Christian, that Hamitic mythology. Okay, so we have to be very careful about this. In this Christianized version, goddess Saraswati and goddess Lakshmi, the goddesses of wisdom and wealth, respectively, have been replaced by Christian saints. These two saints were Saint Paul and Saint Sebastian. So goddess Lakshmi and goddess Saraswati were replaced by Saint Paul and Saint Sebastian. The clergy even further claimed that the festival of Mahashivratri, if you know, a famous popular festival is Mahashivratri. On this day you worship Lord Shiva and all this kind of rituals are there, was corrupted version of the Messiah night of the Christian, okay, which was the day when Jesus wanted his disciples to keep the eternal vigil. These are the examples of the manner in which the Hindu festivals are being steadily Christianized in South India as St. Thomas mythology becomes more entrenched or more solidified by doing these small subtle things. Okay, this was about Christianizing Hindu popular culture. Now we will go into Christianizing Hindu art or Hindu folk culture. Okay, now actually dance form is an intrinsic part of worship in the temples. If you have seen Nataraja, dancing form of Lord Shiva, you will be very well aware of these kind of things. India alone has a concept of God who dances. Okay, you will not find any Jesus Christ or any Allah dancing and all these kind of things. Only in Indian culture you will find Lord Shiva who is dancing. So you have the concept of dancing God. Okay, so what this dancing God means, that it signifies, the Nataraja signifies the cycle of creation, sustenance and destruction of the universe. Okay, where during the night of Brahma, the nature or the Prakriti, what we say, is inert and it cannot move on its own. Now when Shiva dances, the dance sends vibrational frequency throughout this universe, which gives life to this universe, and the inert form of nature or Prakriti gets life and creation is formed. Okay, so this kind of metaphysical activities are there. So Dr. Ananda Kumaraswamy wrote these passages in the quotes that in the night of Brahma, nature is inert and cannot dance till Shiva wills it. He rises from his rapture and dancing sends through inert matter pulsing waves of awakening sound. Okay, matter also dances, appearing as a glory around him. Dancing, he sustains its manifold phenomena. In the fullness of time, still dancing, he destroys all forms of nature and names by fire and gives it a new rest. This poetry, but nonetheless, is science. So if you want to understand metaphysics and all that, we will go into that in a different kind of video. Now what happened is, this dance forms unites the spiritual, artistic and philosophical realms, has inspired many of the Western thinkers or physicists and philosophers. One of the famous is Fritjof Capra, who wrote that for a modern physicist, Shiva's dancing is like dance of a subatomic matter. The latest astrophysicist Carl Sagan saw the image of Lord Shiva a kind of renomination of a modern astronomical ideas. Okay, so Rukmini Anundale explains why this philosophy of Indian dances. Okay, so now the Nataraja is based on scientific and metaphysical realities. So Rukmini Arundale writes, in the spirit of Purusha and Prakriti, an expression of evolution of movement, a truly creative force that has been handed down the ages. This embodiment of the sound and rhythm creating spiritual poetry is called the Natya. The first glimpse of the dance comes to us from Shiva himself, or the yogi or the yogis. He shows that the cosmic dance portrays the unity of being. Cosmic rhythm of his dance draws around him and clouded matter which manifests itself into variety of infinite and beautiful in universe. So this is what the reality of dance is, and how these Christian missionaries are trying to Christianize it by saying that this dance has come from the Hamitic mythology and all. So this was it for today, guys. In the next video we shall continue this further and how this Christian denigration of Indian spiritual dance happened. Till then, enjoy this video and have a nice day.